Good morning, everyone. No, afternoon. Okay, start again. Good afternoon, everybody. While everyone is jumping on and I am getting sorted, I just have to share this to something on my phone. Welcome, everyone that's popping on. Pop in a comment to let me know you are watching. Today we are going to be playing, sorry I can't talk and apparently text at the same time. And I've got that many spelling mistakes in that, but that'll work. Welcome, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft. How are you all going this fine Friday afternoon? It's a lovely sunny day. I don't need my keyboard anymore. Let's get that out of there. And let's get going. Gee, the delay is quite a bit on my phone at the moment. Oops! I just flicked my... Come back. I flicked my monitor and it went black. Oh, I've got stuff everywhere. I should have cleaned up from last night, but I didn't. Hello, welcome. So today, I'm just going to turn that light, and that won't hopefully flicker anymore. It's just catching at... No, that's my bucket catching at the top there. Welcome. It's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft, and today we're going to make some embellishments using one of my new stencils, and I've got a whole pile of stuff I just threw on my desk. Hopefully it all goes together. As you can, if you're one of my regular viewers, you know I really don't get prepared for lives. The week leading up to this show, I've just spent oodles of time on the phone dealing with government departments and things, and just, it takes all day. So today we are going to play with one of my new stencil plus mask sets. I'm having loads of fun with these. I've got some more projects and videos that I've filmed. I've just got to do that thing called editing, which takes a while. So do pop in a comment if you are joining us today, or if you're watching on replay. Welcome. So this is one of our new face stencils, and then you get the mask bits as well. So this particular size is... I always get this wrong. 4 by, I think it's 4 by 8. Does that make sense? 4 by something. I know this one is 6 by 4. So 4 by 8 inches. And then we do, so these ones are normally $6. I can't talk today, I apologise. It's going to be one of those days today. So this one's normally $6. All our products are on sale, all our new products are on sale on the website. And then we also did the smaller version as well. And I'm going to do these in a larger version, because every time I make something, it's like, ooh, that would be cooler in a larger version. So getting the masks and the faces are lots of fun, because you can do a lot with them. I'm going to work with the bigger ones today, but I just wanted to show you the little ones. All our products can be, where can I put these where I won't lose them? I store all mine in Ziploc bags, because then I don't lose the masks. I've got a habit of the little bits going missing. So we're going to use this one today. So all of our products can be resized. So if you see this and go, oh, I'd like it a specific size, you can just email us and ask. And then we can usually accommodate. Sometimes small is a bit harder, but usually big is quite easy. Okay, so I'm going to use some double-sided, some people know it as jack paper. It's basically double-sided adhesive. Oh, hang on. Maybe I didn't grab the double-sided one. That's right, as long as it's sticky on one side. A new product that just came in. Okay. That will still work, maybe. It's not exactly what I wanted. That's okay. It's gonna... That's right, it's still gonna work. Basically, I thought this was double-sided sticky paper when I bought it, but it's clear sticky on one side. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece the size of my mask, or my stencil. Actually, this might work better than I thought. Do a slightly different different version. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work on one person at once. So I'm just going to cut this in half because what I want to do is utilize the positive and negative of the piece I'm going to make. So we're just going to slice this in half. If you are joining us live, pop in a comment and let me know that you are watching. So this is actually not what I thought it was, but it will still work. It's self-adhesive sort of acetate. So this clear bit is sticky and this white bit is a backing. So I'm going to take that off and put the stickiness up, because what I have off to the side here is a collection of washi tapes. I'm on a mission to use up my washi tapes because they do have a shelf life. I've noticed a few of them are becoming, and you really can't see what I'm doing. What can I put it on? Because well, whatever colour I put it on, it won't really work, will it? Because it's clear. But I will get, okay, we'll work on the back of here. You'll see what I'm doing in just a second. So this is a clear piece of sticky. The reason I do this is because sometimes washi tape is not particularly sticky. So all I'm going to do is cover my entire sheet with washi tape. Or I could be using pattern paper. I may do one with pattern paper as well. This washi tape sometimes does not like to, come off. So I'm mainly going to stay in the black and whites at the moment. We'll get some of this thick one out. So welcome for the few that have just joined us. We are using our face masks, our silhouette faces today, and what I'm doing is just laying down some washi tape, and then I'm going to use my stencil to cut out a face, and eventually we're going to use it on an art journal page. So because I've got darker black up here, I'm going to put the darker black down there, and we're going to do some of the numbers just for something different. Actually, I'm just wondering if this is working because I can't see comments at all. So I'm wondering if my phone or the internet is playing up, because usually I can see comments from people. Maybe it's just the way my computer's going. I'm just having a look on my phone to see if it's working. Yeah, it seems to be working. The internet's doing funny things lately. Should have prepared one of these earlier, shouldn't I? Not too organised today. Even just before I come on, my phone rang and it was a telemark, and it was like, rude, I've got to be somewhere, go away, person. So I got rid of them rather quickly because I asked for their phone number to call them back. You usually do that and they hang up on you because they can't take inbound calls. Okay, so just wanting to, should have grabbed more colours of black. We'll put another black stripe up the top. So it's a good idea to dive into your stash and use up things like washi tapes and paints and anything that has a shelf life, because some of these washi tapes are a few years old, and I've noticed a few of them they're losing their stickiness. Hence why I am putting them on a piece of sticky, well, this is sticky black plastic. What are we going to do? We're going to do this one down here. So we're nearly finished sticking it all down. I know it's a bit boring at the moment. Trust me, it will all come into effect. And now I've stuck it to my page. I'm just going to pick this up. When I'm using washi tape in my art journals, I'm just going to cut this off the side so I don't have sticky bits hanging around. Always when I'm using washi tape and stuff like this in my art journals, I always stick it down with either a matte medium or stick it with more sticky tape. but sticking it on this clear plastic will work really, really well. So now I've got this patterned piece of paper. I'm going to flip it over to the back side or the reverse side and grab a marker. I'm sure I threw in a permanent marker. I've got this tray in top of me, and I'm sure I threw in a permanent marker that I could draw with. Here we go. So I'm going to take one of my stencils. Which one would I want to do? I want to do this girl's face. So all I'm going to do is trace around using my stencil. Doesn't matter that I'm exact, or it helps if I stay within the stencil. It's a bit hard to see at the moment, but you'll see it in a second. What I want to do is when I cut this out, I actually want to preserve the negative space, because usually I would miss some of her head. I'll just join that up. Usually I would just take my scissors and cut into it, but I do want to start it with a craft knife because I want to use the back and the outside and the inside. And I'll put a craft knife somewhere. Here we go. Apologise if my head comes into frame, but I just want to start it with a craft knife so I don't have to cut into it, and then I'm going to do it with the scissors because it's so much easier to cut it with the scissors once I've started. So I'm going to cut along my guidelines. So I could have easily stuck this washi tape to paper, just decided to use the what I thought was double-sided paper, but wasn't, but it will still work. You basically just got to stick it to something so you can cut it out. So I'm not being 100% exact. Just want the basic shape. Oh, I left a little bit interconnecting, it won't pop out. So this way I get to use both the positive and the negative, and we get a really cool pattern shape. So I can do this with either size. This would look cute in the smaller one as well. Doesn't that look like a really cool embellishment to go on a page? Now, do I want a paper one, or do I want to use the washi tape one? What I also want to do is make one with a longer body. So this is where the stencil stops, and I actually wanted to show you how to extend the stencil to make her a longer body. So we're going to put that one aside, and I traced it with the numbers upside down, but that doesn't matter. So I've got that one to use. I'm going to pop that one aside for a minute. The next one I'm going to do is pattern paper, which will be a bit quicker. But what I want to do is I want to position my person on here and cut a longer strip of paper to give her a long body, and then I'm going to decide which one I want to use. I can probably cut this off with the paper trimmer. I actually saw a couple of posts on Instagram that were doing this sort of thing. I don't know whether they were using washi tape. It's hard with Instagram because you only see a picture of it. I don't know whether they're using washi tape or pattern paper, but doing this sort of striped effect with a similar stencil or a similar concept, and I can't quite remember who I saw it off. So I'm just going to cut this one. I'm just wanting to leave, because I'm wanting to utilize both the positive and the negative so I don't waste anything, I'm cutting this bigger than I normally would. So I've got a couple of small scrap bits to go back in the package and use on something else. So now I'm going to make a longer body one. So this time I'm going to use, actually let's stay within the dark tones, then I can work out which one. So this is a little paper pad from Reject Shop, just because it was close to hand when I grabbed stuff. So I'm just going to grab out a few papers. Oh, and I don't think these colours will go. Let's go for more the neutrals. That colour will go. I've got a page that's half started in my art journal, and I did not realise this was a, oh no, that's a, God, it was Christmas baubles. It's not, it's like sewing baubles. And I'm sort of wanting a, don't want too many darks. that will probably go with the colours I've got in my journal. And that one, ooh, I like that one. That one's really cool. So this would be great to use up your scraps with, except let's bring in a bit of pink. I just grabbed this paper stack to use instead. So I'm just wanting to quickly cut these, and I want them in different widths. So this would be great for all these little branding strips we cut off our paper. So we want some at that size, and we'll go some a bit bigger. I should have prepared all this earlier, shouldn't I? That's okay. Shows all the beginners out there how to do it as well. So I'm just cutting some that are, I don't know how many, oh, that must be 2 centimeters, just as wide as where my paper trimmer is, and then I'm just hanging it over a bit because I just want strips that are different widths just to make it a bit more interesting. So this thin paper works really well for this. I probably wouldn't use cardstock because we get a bit bulky in the art journals when we use thicker bits of paper, so I like all the thin bits of paper in my art journal. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our tall piece of paper. So obviously this is the head we just cut out. I'll use this one for an example because you can see it. If I put this white one on, you won't see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover this entire piece with paper, and when we cut out here, we're just going to extend her body down so she's a bit taller on the page, so she doesn't look like she's a floating head. For some reason, I don't like floating heads on my pages. Other people can pull it off, but for some reason, I've got to have my character with a longer body. It's just something I do. Now the fun bit is getting that sticky bit off. Okay. So this is exposed stickiness as well. I could easily just glue stick these to another sheet of paper. I thought I'd make it quite quick and easy today. And I'm trying to get that there without it sticking on my finger. So now I just want to take these strips, and I just noticed I cut the flowers an interesting way. I wasn't watching what I was doing. My flowers are going the wrong way, which won't matter. That one won't matter. My flowers are going up and down, and that's just really gonna bug me. That one we can use, that one we can use. I'm just going to recut some strips. Of course I cut them wrong when I'm doing a live. I wasn't really paying attention. Oh, do I have... Oh, my paper's just long enough to cut more strips. So we need this one, this one, this one, this one, and the others can go any which way. Bear with me while I just cut some more strips. Now, it doesn't really matter. You could have your flowers going... I'll just, sorry, a bit closer. So what I've done is I've actually cut these flowers, and I'm going to stick the paper this way, and my flowers are sort of growing that way. Now that probably won't bug a lot of people, but it actually bugs me because the paper goes this way. It's just me. So I will just quickly cut some new papers. I will use those on something else. Let's make sure I cut these in the correct way, because knowing me, this is like me and striped paper. Me and striped paper don't play nice together in the sandbox, because I always cut it. I think I want the stripes going one way, and then I go to cut it, and well, my stripes are running the wrong way. I'll get a second piece of paper and cut it again, and my stripes are still running the wrong way. But that's okay. We've got plenty of paper to work with. Now let's bring this back in with the stickiness. And that's a bit of a problem with my low vision as well. For anyone that's new to my scrapbooking and my business, I teach a lot of craft shows with Craft Alive and other companies around Victoria. And I also have low vision, so I'm not even allowed to drive a car, which makes it interesting to get places. But that's probably why I cut the flowers the other way, because I just didn't see what I was doing. So I'm just going to take these patterns and much better. No, I want a dark one there, and I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter with these thin papers if I overlap them. I'm just trying to get them straight, because straight would be good. So I find sometimes my vision does let me down in trying to line things up and get things straight, but we get there. I'm going to have to slice a little bit off because these bits of paper are a little bit short, but that's all right. We'll put a dark bit down the bottom. I'm just not wanting too many dark bits in a row. I sort of want, and I don't particularly want dark bits on her face, so I've just decided that. So where can her face... No, it's not going to come off. It's going to be stuck there. So do pay attention of where, if you want your particular pieces, I'm going to overlap. Ah! Jesus, can anything else go wrong today? The internet could go out. Let's not moz it. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these pink strips and overlap this so her face is not black. Then we are going to do this. I'm probably being too critical with where I want colours. I should just stick it down, shouldn't I? I don't want black in her hair. Put this colour in her hair. I'm a bit like that some days. I like things to be the white way around. I like things to not have black in her hair. If I just let go and just go with it, I'd probably end up with a much better piece. Now I've got all of this covered up except for that last little bit down the bottom, and I want, oh, I didn't use that particular pattern. That one's all florals. We'll use that one down the bottom. Just got a little bit of sticky tape down the bottom to cover up, and now I've used that in one place, I'll want to use it in somewhere else, because I don't like to have just one thing of things. Getting a good insight into my mind today, what I don't and do like. I think I might stick this one here. So I've used up all the stickiness. I just need to find where I put my double-sided tape. And we'll stick this on. And we'll cut this out, and then we'll get on to constructing our art journal page. So when you art journal, you don't, when you're doing art journaling, if you don't want to actually sit down and do a particular page, you can actually just sit down and make some collage pieces for your art journal box to use at a later date. I'm just deciding, and I'm being way too annoying with where I'm putting stuff today, way too critical. Wait until we come to do the art journal page. So I'm just going to cut these bits off just so they're not flapping over the side. So when it comes to art journaling, I've sort of got an idea in my head on where this page is going to go when I start constructing the page. Sometimes I have a good idea of where things are going to go, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what sort of mood I'm in when I sit down and art journal. And art journaling can be very personal. Or sometimes I'll just sit down, and as I was saying before I forgot my train of thought, sometimes I just like to sit down and make things to use in my journaling later. So I might sit down and make a bunch of these sort of things, these like heads and that, and just sit them in a box, and I'll use them one day. So if you sort of want to craft but don't really know what you want to do, start making some embellishments, and then it might inspire you to make another project. So now that is all flat. Where did our mask go? Our mask went here. So now you've got to just decide which direction you want your lady to face. So I probably want her to face this direction. So when I put it on the back, I'm just going to reverse it. Now I just want to grab that texture I had before. And this time I'm drawing around the mask. It doesn't matter if you draw around the mask or the stencil bit, you're going to get the same shape. And try not to move it. Oh, it's slippery today because I'm on the back of the plastic, but it will all work. You won't see the plastic when I have put the page all together. Might end up using both of these on the page. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm just going to start it with a craft knife again so I can preserve the negative. Oh, I was about to do it and I stopped myself. Okay, I forgot, we're going to extend her body. So we are just going to bring her body down here, and I almost cut it without thinking what I was doing. I'm just going to do some sketchy lines. So this line across here, we're actually not going to cut. We're going to cut her down. We're going to end her probably here, just so I have the option of using the negative space with a little bit down the bottom. Probably won't use the negative space with a little bit down the bottom. So now we'll just start this with the knife. And in some places you are cutting through a few pieces of paper. I'm going to come do her face from the other angle just to make it a bit easier. And I'll probably pick the biggest pair of scissors I could manage to do this cutting, but it'll all work. So you don't necessarily have to make the positive and the negative piece. I like to sort of not waste anything when I'm crafting. So if I'm going to cut a shape out, I will preserve the negative bit, and one day it'll get used. It might get used in the same project. It just depends on what I'm doing. And her face has got a little lost in detail, but we'll see if we can fix that up. Oh no, she looks good from that direction. So I've got this piece to use, and then I've got this piece to use as well. Let's get all these little bits of paper out of here and put them off to the side. I've got piles and piles off to the side. So we've got our washi shape, and we have our one with pattern paper. So let's bring our art journal page in. Now I picked my art journal, my little one, because I've got some pages in there that I've been wanting to add stuff to for a while, and I thought what a good opportunity to use up one of these pre-done pages. So sometimes when I'm art journaling, I just make a background. Sometimes I sit there and do a page from start to finish. Just depends on the amount of time I've got. And some of these pages in here I've had excess paint. So this is one of my altered books. So we've got a few pages in here where I've had excess paint, and whoops, sorry, I'll move up. We've had excess paint and I've just braided onto it. So we're going to find, let's just grab our two heads and see what colours we can find. Obviously it's not going to go on the bright pink. I was thinking about this one when I was thinking about colours. And this one is basically just a napkin that I have stuck down. So my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, sells paper napkins on my website. I don't think I've got any other pages. This I think might be too busy. This one I've just stuck down a whole lot of jelly prints, and jelly prints that one was. So I'm thinking this one might be a bit busy for that. Don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. Oh, it's another page. This one is the wrong colours. So I'm just flipping through just to see. I had that one in mind at the start, but I might end up changing my mind. No, we're going to go back to the one that I originally thought. Just moving my washi tape out of the way. Now, when I have elements in the foreground like this, I do like to bring some of the elements into the background. So I am going to put some washi tape down into the background. Actually be really cool to have sort of both of these heads, but then I'll have to make her another body on the one page. Let's have a look at our negative bits. Oh, maybe we have the positive and the negative bit. Maybe that would be fun. What we could do, I sort of don't want to lose this rose on the side. See, I could procrastinate for ages for this. We are going to make a decision, and I like that. And what I might do is make this one an extension so she sits behind. But I'll extend the bits of washi tape down here. So obviously all I've done with this particular page, it's a raw book page from my altered book. This is a book about lions. I didn't pick it for the book about lions. I picked it because I liked the text on it. And then all I've done is Mod Podge the napkin down. Now obviously we've got gaps here, so I'm going to fill in some of that with paint. I just need to grab, quietly as I can, sorry about the rustling, grab some of my baking paper. I've got a stash beside my desk that goes under my pages in my book, just so when I paint I don't put paint everywhere. I've been known to put paint everywhere, so we just want a piece of paper under. And as you can tell, I use these papers over and over again until it's all covered in paint. And I'm just going to fold that into my book. It's going to have a little bit of crinkling, but hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, now we're going to pick some paint colours. Let's just move that out of the way. So I still want to sort of see some of the text underneath, so I've grabbed my Delusions paints. We're just going to grab a bunch, not purple, obviously. I can't see the colours till I pull them down. But let's have a look at colours. So Delusions paints are semi-transparent. That one's red, obviously not red. I think we might stay in the cool family today. Green, let's have a look. Obviously I like greens, maybe. I want to have another green. I don't even like green. Why have I got so many green paints? Okay, so let's pick what colours we are going to do. So I think I like mushy peas. I think that's almost that background colour. So we're going to go with mushy peas. We're going to pick 3. I want to bring, this one is polished jade. Let's bring that into it. And what more of a neutral? I don't know whether I have. I'm just looking down here and it's like the khaki colour. I don't think I have a neutral in this. Nope. Not in front of me anyway. It's right, I'll bring the neutral in with another colour. Let's put those back. Let's put the ones back we don't want. Let's make this a green page. That one? No. That one might be the same one. No, that's parrot. We'll bring a bit of green into it. We'll do these ones, and definitely not the purple, because purple doesn't go with these colours. So what I might do is add a bit of this washi tape and a little bit of this pattern paper into the background first, and then I'm going to put my paint over the top of it. Did I grab my... Just going to grab my gel medium. And my computer's making all sorts of funny noises as you're all shopping at the Great International Craft Show. So I've just grabbed my gel medium so I can stick down my pattern paper. So whatever elements I use in the background, I actually like to bring forth into the sort of the foreground. So I'm going to do this in reverse actually. So I've got these in the foreground, so I want to just add a little bit, not much, into the background. And here I can utilise some of the papers that I cut the wrong way. So I'm just going to bring some of these in. I don't want to bring much in. I just want to bring little bits in, and I'm going to tear them so they're even smaller. So they'll be there, but they won't be there. Won't be too much. So I might put that bit up there. Let's get my people out of the way. Move out of the way, people. So I just want to sort of stick these bits down here. I don't need to bring every pattern in, but it's nice to bring in a few of the patterns. And I might keep my stripes going horizontally, just because that's what is happening on my focal images. I'm having trouble with words today, and I don't really want to lose the roses and the butterflies, so I'm sort of going to work around those. I'm sort of going to fill in the spaces. So we want this bit, we didn't, looking for a bit of that blue. Where did I put all my scraps of paper? I threw them down here. I'm looking for the bluey coloured floral. Found it. Sorry, bang. So I want a little bit of this as well. So I'm going to sort of put these over here and these over here, and we are going to, well, looks like we're going to use my finger with the matte gel medium because I didn't grab a brush. That's okay, I like to finger paint. So matte gel medium is like a glue. It's like an adhesive, or it is an adhesive. This one is this is multi matte medium by Ranger, so it's good for sort of medium weight papers. The glue I use for the napkins is what we call matte medium, so it's more of a liquid glue. It's more of a runny glue because your napkins are quite fragile. I have quite a few videos on my channel about sticking napkins down, either on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, and I might be using them in tomorrow's demo. Not sure what I'm doing tomorrow yet. My daughter has a huge variety of napkins on the website for sale. That's sort of her little side business. She helps pick orders and stuff and gets to add up all her profits from her napkins. So every time we go out shopping, it's like, Mum, can we look for paper napkins? It's like, don't you have enough, Alexis? No, of course not. But they are fun to use, and you can get some really funky ones. We've got some beautiful ones up on the website at the moment. But do grab the paper napkins when you can, because some of them are several years old from my stash. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're still in perfect condition. But they're just not available anymore. So if you see ones you like, jump on them. Most of my other products, I can make more chipboard. I can make more stencils and foam stamps, depending on what raw materials I have in stock at that stage. But the napkins are something you have to, if you see one and really like it, grab it, because it may not be around next time you come back and have another shop, because some of them we cannot get again. So I'm just putting some of this under where this dries matte, so you can get this in matte and gloss. I prefer the matte one. And then what I'm doing is I'm putting some over the top of the paper. The reason I put it over the top of the paper is it helps the paper to seal onto the page. And then when we go and put our paints over the top, and I'm just trying to pick up my mouse without gel medium on my hand. Hi Wendy, how you going? It's getting there. I'm all thumbs today. Now I've got gel medium all over my finger. So we're going to use our people we made earlier, or a few minutes ago, and now I need a baby wipe. I'm all about finger painting lately. I just need to get my fingers messy, whether it's paint or gel medium. It's something about connecting to your page and touching it and feeling it, and I'm trying to pull one baby wipe and 10 more come out, as per usual. So now we're going to bring some paint in. I might just give that a quick dry with the heat tool that I've got off to the side. Doesn't have to be 100% dry, just has to be dry enough. I like how that's toning in. Because we're putting wet paint over it, it doesn't have to be very, very dry. I'm just going to clean up my pattern paper stripes that'll go in my scrap box. Now I want to bring in some paint with some, what stencils did I grab? Actually, I might just put some paint on without a stencil and then decide if I want to use a stencil. So I sort of want to basically tie these pieces together because we've got gaps in the napkin. So we want to go, this one is Delusions Mushy Peas, and I get all my Delusions paints and all my stuff that I don't sell, well, most of it from Hillbilly Scrapping. So Hillbilly Scrapping and I team up and do the shows around country Victoria, the in-person craft alive shows. Don't want to, oh, I keep wiping it over my butterfly. So when I'm putting paint on, I don't want to just have it in I obviously have got paint on every finger I try to touch the butterfly with. I want to sort of preserve my butterfly. So I'm bringing the paint up and over the napkin. I'm not just doing it in the gaps, and that will help to make it look cohesive as well. I know this colour is slightly the wrong colour, but I'll put some other colour over the top and it will all work out. I could be putting my paint onto a paint palette. I'm going to go up and over a bit of the pattern paper as well, just to sort of all combine in. So this is our background, so we're wanting it to all sort of fade together. Just going to give that a quick dry. If you dry between the colours, they won't sort of mix and make mud. Even though these colours won't make mud, I sort of want to preserve the colours. I think I have a bit too much over here. So the advantage of sealing your pattern papers with the matte gel medium is if you put too much paint on them, like I have just down here, I've decided, you can easily wipe it off. And when we stuck down the napkin ages ago, I think this has been sitting in my journal for a while, it's the same thing. We go over the napkin with the matte gel medium, so then if you put some paint on and you don't like it, you can easily take it off. So I think I'm liking that pop of colour. Let's go with this one, which is Polished Jade. I love the Delusions paints because they are semi-transparent. She also has some more transparent ones, which are her cocktail colours, which I'm slowly getting. Oh, I was going to say it must be a new paint. No. It just didn't look like it wanted to come out. Putting it on the wrong finger. So I just want a tiny little bit of this, and I'm going to use my baby wipe to help spread it around. So it will just brighten it up a bit. Oh, it's probably a bit too much. Just put a little bit on, and then I'm going to wipe some of it back with the napkin. So these paints, you can sort of work right up until these dark elements and not totally obliterate them. So you have the option with your napkins of sticking them down first, which is obviously what I did with this one because I was playing around with it one night, because this napkin was stuck down before this live started. Or you can stick your napkins down afterwards. The napkins are quite translucent, so the thing is, if you stick them down afterwards, they're going to pick up that colour that you've got in your background. So sometimes I stick them down first, sometimes I stick them down afterwards. It just doesn't matter. Hi Faye, how you going? No work for me between you and your mum. Oh, are you referring to Hillbilly Scrapping? Jen's actually not my mum. A lot of people assume she is. She sounds like my mother half the time, but no, we're just great friends that work together. We get called mother and daughter a lot at the shows. That's just funny. And I tell her she sounds like my mother half the time. No, my mother's not crafty at all. I don't want to put a lot of this colour down. The great thing about all these lives, Faye, is they are recorded, so you can go back and watch them over and over again, or if you want to follow along with the project, you can pull the video back up again. So to find them on Facebook, there's usually a tab that has, if you're on a phone or a computer, there's a tab that says posts, discussion, there'll be one that says videos, and you click on that and it shows all the videos that that person has put up. So you can even go and watch back a lot of our older videos as well. I am endeavouring to get a lot of my Facebook live videos onto YouTube, which will make them so much easier to find, and then you can search for different things as well. I think I'm liking that. Let's give that a quick dry. But not liking green the colour at all, I'm doing pretty well today. Because we're putting a very thin layer of paint on, it doesn't take that long to dry. I'm just going to cut this little bit of paper off that was hanging over the edge. Now, I deliberately left this sort of area without a lot of paint in case I want to use the other, the negative part of this. That's what I'm trying to say. Words are escaping me today. What I actually have, which would look really nice on this page, is, now, I like the black one. I'm thinking that one needs an outline. So what did I bring over here that I can outline it with? Because I think she just needs to jump out from the page a bit. So I'm just going to move this. Often when I'm art journaling, I don't really know where the page is going till I start. If I have too much of an idea in my head. You like the blue colour on it, Wendy? It does. The polished jade looks really, really nice. Often I have an idea, I know I want to play with and make sort of a silhouette like this. Other than that, I really don't know where this page is going. Because if I have a set idea in my head and then it doesn't go to plan, I get annoyed at the page. So I'm just wanting to put an ever so lightly edge, and I could have done this with an ink pad if I had an ink pad near me, but this is just a big fat like permanent Sharpie marker. I'm just wanting to put the ever so light line around, just to define, and so it has a bit of definition, so when I stick it on it doesn't get lost. Just want to give her a bit of a nose, and I've gone up there, so I'm just going to colour that little bit in. You wouldn't know that I did that. Okay, what am I doing now? See how she stands out a bit more? And I want her grounded to the page, and I'm thinking that usually I don't like to do a lot of things in the middle of the spine of my book just because it gets quite bulky, but yeah, we're going to break all the rules today. Just because of where the flowers are positioned, and I like the flowers here. What I did grab, and I don't know whether I will actually use, is, it might be the right colour, and I don't have fussy cutting scissors with me. That's all right, I'll have to use the big ones. I'm wondering, these are from a class I did at the Ballarat and Bendigo shows. So these have actually been stamped with Tim Holtz Distress sprays and one of my foam stamps. So I'm going to cut one of these out and see if I like it. So this is one of the foam stamp designs that I make and manufacture, and I use this element a lot on my pages. So I'm cutting it with just a little bit of a border. I'm not being too perfect because I'm cutting a bit quicker than I normally would. And if I have a bit more of a white border here and not there, I'm not really fussed. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers and Instagrammers that do a lot of sort of collage. Usually I stick everything down with matte gel medium and have a lot of painty layers, but they seem to be making little elements and doing sort of like a collage, and it looks really cool, and I go to do it and it doesn't. So that's what I thought we'd attempt today. Why not attempt it on a live where everything can go wrong? So the way I made these leaves was I sprayed 3 colours of distressed spray stain, which is Tim Holtz, like his original ink pads. They're like a translucent ink. Sprayed 3 colours onto a messy mat, plopped my stamp in it, picked up the ink, and then stamped them, and you get this really cool watercolory look. I Actually, I do like them. I might cut a second one out. Quickly cut a second one out. So often when I was doing this for the class, I will stamp out a whole sheet. And then I will use... Actually, I've said, oh, that one's probably not. No, that one won't work. I'm seeing something else. And then I'll put them in my box. And when I was collecting stuff to do this live, I thought, oh, they might work. And then they're already pre-stamped out. It's like having a collection of embellishments that you sort of buy, but you've handmade them to go and use in your pages. So you don't have to get out your spray inks and make a mess. You can make a mess once and make a few of them. I'll often do that when I want to craft, but I just don't want to do a full page, or I don't have an hour, I only have like a few minutes. I will sit here and just make a few embellishments. They don't take that long to cut out. I see some people using this negative space as well, which doesn't really work on this one. It needs to be a bit more of a, I don't know, what do the leaves look like? Actually, I don't mind them. Brings a bit of the yellow. Oh, we do. I didn't really want to cover up the leaves, so I'm cover up the roses. Let's move her over a bit. Let's move her a bit. I've got to make her body a bit longer with the washi tape. Maybe that almost look like wings. I've got this thing about putting wings on things lately. I wonder if I hide more of the yellow and have a bit more of the blue showing. No, I like a bit of the yellow. I could sit here and pretend and fluff around all day. Now I need to make a bit more of a body for this one with the washi tape to match, so I will find a scrap of that stuff I was using, or I could just do it on a bit of paper. Oh, this might work. How long do I need it? Oh, I only need it that long. So let's just move my book up here, because for me, having this head floating here without her body coming down here, just, I don't know, for some reason my head just doesn't like it. I don't know. I like, although there's no rules in art journaling, I tend to not like that she doesn't have a body, but that's just me. As I said earlier, I see other pictures of people that have use these head type things, and they're just floating and they look really good, but when I go to do it, they don't look so good, so I need to add a body to it. That's just me. So I'm just going to quickly make a little body for her with, okay, so let's just match up our washi tape. So she's going to sit there. So I want, let's do some of the numbers and actually put them up the right way this time. This year I'm trying to deep dive into my personal stash of stuff and use it up. I am trying not to shop, but it is oh so hard. Every time I go to a show with Hillbilly Scrapping, or every time she comes on with a live, she shows new stuff, and I just want it all, and I can't have it all because my credit card says no, you cannot have everything, which is a bit sad of my credit card to say that. So I'm trying to be good this year and deep dive my stash and use stuff up. But it's also nice to combine it with some new stuff as well. I want the big stripes on the bottom. I like this big stripe one. It'll be a bit sad when this roll goes. I don't think I've got much left. It's amazing. You use and use and use washi tape and you think the roll's endless. And then all of a sudden you use it up and it's like, oh, I like that shape. Or I like that colour. I will want some more of it. Okay, so I've stuck this to my page, which was intelligent. So I'm just going to trim the side off. So to make it easier for my scissors, I'm just trimming just inside the bit of plastic that I've laid the washi tape on. And because washi tape is semi-translucent, you're going to see some of the colours underneath on my page, which will be really fun. Just going to fold that little bit down so we have got perfect. Now I'm going to stick, where'd my tape go? I'm just going to attach these temporarily and then I will glue them down properly. So I like to attach things temporarily into clusters when I decide where I want it. So if I'm out of shot, I'm just trying to line it up. There we go. And I shouldn't have taken the backing off that tape because now I've stuck it to there. Nothing seems to go right today. I don't know. I think it's because I haven't had lunch yet. Ugh, we need lunch. Okay. So when I stick that down, you won't want it overlapping just a bit. But I didn't want... Oh, it doesn't matter if I lose that bit. So I do want it to line up at the front end. It doesn't matter if it doesn't line up at this back bit because it is going to be tucked under her shape. Now, let's have a look. Don't know about those. I'm thinking on those still. Oops. Now we probably need some sort of quote and probably a bit of stenciling just to add a bit more pattern. Or do we need stamping? What have I got in my box that I threw up here? Actually some dots would look really cool. I've got this. I'm just going to reach back and grab my black ink pad. Or do I want the green ones? Let's just grab the whole tray. Let's just grab the whole tray of inks. I'm trying to be organised and put all of my stuff in the one spot. I thought I had other colours of green ink. I do. Or maybe I'll get the blues out. So then when I go to need an ink pad, they're in that particular drawer. And when I clean up from a project, haha, they go back in the drawer. That doesn't always happen. I like these dots. Let's use these dots. This is just a random Craft stamp that I had around. What's this one from? Oh, this is from Amethyst. I bought that whole collection because I liked it was purple. But I think we need some dots in the background because we definitely need some more texture. Because the people are so textured at the front. And of course, oh no, we're going to cheat. Instead of pulling the stamp off the acetate, we are just going to cut the acetate. Because I very rarely put these on a block when they're a background stamp for my mixed media. I will just have it in my hand because if I put it on a block I'll get like a rectangle, but if I leave it in my hand, so I've just left that bit of acetate on the back. Now, do I want these to be black or do I want them to be subtle? Let's start subtle and then I can always add black. So these are archival inks from, who are these by? Wendy Vecchi. The reason I like archival inks because then if I go, they're permanent, so if I go and add anything on top, they're not going to run. I think I want to add a bit more bluey, this one. Let's go with cornflower blue. So I'm just going to pop the stamp in and I just want to sort of go, oh, I'm liking that, in random areas. When I'm holding the stamp like this and haven't attached it to a block, I can get a bit more of a randomness. Actually, I think I want to add a couple of colours of this. Actually, I like the dots. I do have a text just stamping off onto my... look, blue. Done with blue. Let's put it back in the drawer. Don't want that blue. Don't want... Which green do I want? I don't know. I think I'll go the darker green. Actually, it's handy pulling the whole drawer out and having it behind me. I can just throw them straight away. So you can even hold sort of the stamp up and just get little bits. And I think I have got a... Now I'm just having fun and playing. I've got a text stamp. I might add some text as well. So under my page, what I'm stamping off onto, or you can't see it when I do it here, here is just some, what we call, oh, I call it deli paper. It's not what the Americans call deli paper. Here in Australia, when we go to the supermarket, you can go and ask for meat in small amounts. My daughter always has cabana when we go shopping. So we get that often, and it's nice thin paper, so I put it under my workspace and stamp off onto it until I make pretty things. Before it gets ugly, I take it off and replace it with another sheet, and then I've got some pretty pattern paper to use, and it's a good way to clean up your stamp. So this is a really, really old Prima marketing stamp. I like it for the text, and it's got a few little pictures in it, so it's one I use quite often when I want writing. Oh look, I've even got bunnies. Maybe we'll put a bunny on the page. Wonder why I've got bunny stamps, Alexis. Alexis is my 13-year-old daughter. If you're wondering, she's a bit bunny mad, and we have 2 bunnies that live in our house. Take over our house. I was chasing them around this morning. They were being annoying. So this is really subtle stamping. If I was to do this with black, it'd be a bit more sort of prominent, which I like the subtleness of it. Have I got even this up the right way? I think I'm stamping upside, oh, whoopsies. Stamping the words upside down. Shh, no one will know. And I'll put a bit of blue in it as well. So this page is coming together nicely. What I find with art journaling for me is all about the time I take out of my day. And yes, I could be doing other stuff at the moment. But I'm having fun in my art journal. I was just going to make the embellishments and not do an art journal page today, but I thought, why not sit down and play? Oh wow, I've been going 1 hour and 10 minutes already. Gee, time flies when you art journal. Art journaling for me is more about taking time out of my day and playing. Sitting down and relaxing, not worrying about what my daughter's doing. Then again, I probably should go check on her. Teenagers. Not worrying about life, not worrying about my business, just playing. And if I get to the end of a play session and I go, ugh, do I really like that layout? Do I not like it? It doesn't matter to me. It's more the time I've taken to play and to just have fun. Most of the time I do like my pages. I am liking this one. The problem is now I like the background, I don't want to cover it up. So art journaling for me is more about time out of my day, just sitting and playing and having fun. At the end of it, if I make something I like, that's great. If I've just had fun making some stuff. Now I'm wondering, actually, do I like them on the background? I really like that background now. Maybe I just stick a saying on and not use the things I actually made. I often do this, and there's no, there is no reason why you can't start with something and have an idea, and then, because these roses are sort of the focal point. Maybe I don't. The pink's clashing a bit, but then she needs something. Let's bring in this one. See, I'm indecisive too. Maybe I change my mind and use something like this. Then that's a bit big. That's going to cover up too much. Okay. Make a decision. Stick it down. I'll sit here and procrastinate. I do like the pink. It's just there's no pink anywhere else on the page, which you might have to correct. And usually I wouldn't stick focal images right in the middle, but sorry, thinking. No, I do like that one there. But I don't think I liked the, oh, maybe these over here. Ooh. No. I don't know. Oh, I do have a butterfly stamp. let's put a border on it while I'm still thinking, because I think it does need a bit of a border. And what I was thinking with the border is, that's a thick pen. This one is, sometimes I'll do borders, sometimes I won't, but I'm feeling this one needs a border. So I'm just going to do a really light sort of scribbly line. I don't want a really, really harsh border, but I just want an end to the page. And that will sort of bring some of the black to the foreground as well. So just really lightly going over the border. And often I do things in my art journal, I think it's a good idea, and it sounds like a good idea in my head, and then I do it and it's go, whoops, shouldn't have done that. But as long as you learn from your mistakes and learn from the things you don't like about your page. Maybe if I took the pink out, I'd like it a bit more. It's just the pink is, I've got pink nowhere else. So unless I add some pink somewhere else, and I don't think I've got an ink colour in that really, really light colour. Oh, maybe I do. I wonder if I water that down, how that work. Oh, what's this one? No, that's orange. I'm thinking I like it if I add a bit of pink to here. What have I got? Really, really close at hand to add. Oh, I've got paints up here. No, that's not pink. Oh, every colour in the rainbow but the one I want, which is usually the way. Oh, what's this? Oh, I could use that if I could use my, this is Distress Glaze. Ooh, let's use some Distress Glaze. I've just got to quickly find my embossing pen. Let's grab another drawer out. Let's just have every drawer out of my, my drawers. Now, I've just got to look in here and find, and hopefully it's in here, my embossing pen. Ooh, I can't see it, it's black. Okay, what else can I emboss with? I want to use embossing powder, so I've just got to stick. Actually, I should be able to do it with water. It's not. Why is my embossing pen not where it's supposed to be? Because that's why I don't put things back. Oh, wait till you see this product. This is the new Tim Holtz embossing glaze. Well, it's not that new, but it's like embossing powder, but it's actually a glaze, so it's translucent. And a friend gifted me this pink flamingo one. So when you use this embossing powder, looking for my rubbish bin, it puts, oh, sorry, hit the table. It puts a glaze over the top, but doesn't add a lot of colour. So this will give this a pink tinge. And apparently I can do it with water because I've seen Tim Holtz do that. So let's do this. And I need a bit of paper to sprinkle it on so I can put it back in the jar. A bit of paper, a bit of paper. Let's just grab the middle from my notebook. Okay, so now what I want to do is, so embossing glaze you use exactly like embossing powder, and Hillbilly Scrapping has all the colours available. This is fun. So basically I just need to stick, why have I got no water coming out of my water brush? Oh, now I have. So basically I've just got to be able to stick the powder to my surface and for when I bring in my heat tool and heat it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush some water. You're almost not going to see it. And I could do this with, what I was looking for was my Versamark embossing pen, which is basically clear ink. And I may have to do this twice because I really can't see where I'm going, because I'm putting clear water on the flower. Basically I'm just wanting to get the rose. As I said, I'm going to have to do this twice, but that's okay. So now we want to tip want to get some of this out of the way. We want to basically tip this on like you'd be using normal embossing powder. Oh look, I haven't even used this colour yet. I don't know. I have a lot of things I haven't used yet. I keep buying them and not using them. So basically I'll sprinkle a little bit on, and hopefully this doesn't go too pink. I might put a bit on my girl just so it's only in the, not in the one spot on the page. But if this was normal embossing powder, it would go completely pink. And I want to put that under there to catch all my powder. This is probably not the best way to do it. Just going to give it a bit of a tap just to get the excess powder off. Now, have I got enough powder on there? Oh, I've got some stuck there. Just going to put the rest back in the jar, and we may have to come in with some water and do it again. Or this might just be enough of a pink glaze. I've been teaching classes with this embossing glaze, and it is so much fun. Now I'm just going to turn my heat tool on. I'm going to start in one direction like you would do with your embossing powder, and then you'll see it glaze over. Now this embossing glaze has a gloss finish, so you'll see it turn to gloss. This is a low temperature heat tool, so it does take a little bit to get going. And because we're using the water, it takes a little bit longer as well. Oh, I think I can see it turning. Yep. Ooh, pretty. Going to bring that a bit closer to my eye so I can see if all my powder has melted, and it looks like it has. Awesome. So if I bring that up to the camera, you can see a light pink tinge on it. Now that is because this is an embossing glaze, so it puts a glaze over the top instead of normal embossing powder. You would have totally obliterated all that detail in the rows. So the embossing glazes are so much fun. And they react differently on different colors as well. So if you put a blue embossing glaze on like a yellow, it goes green. So it interacts with the bottom color. I like that. Now, do I need to do some over here? Now I've got this sort of pink, even if it's a different tonal pink, it is... Actually, I might put embossing glaze over. Oh no, that's going to be glossy. See, I'm being indecisive. I'll have to stop being indecisive because I have got things to do this afternoon, like work. Ugh, can't do work. And it's got a bit of a gloss to it. It almost looks like you've hand painted the rose. I really like that effect. Now I'm going to do this rose, but I think one is just enough. Knowing when to stop is fun. Do I want anything else with these, or do I want to just stick them down? I think I'm just going to stick them down as embellishments. What I want to do is I just want to put a little bit of a white outline around this one, like I did the dark outline on that one with a paint pen, just so it stands out. I'm just going to put that up there for a minute. So I've probably got a paint pen that's too thick, so we're just going to be oh so gentle, and apologise if my head gets in the way, just to put a little bit of white around the edge, just so it pops from the page. Sorry if I'm going off screen. I'm just putting a tiny bit of a white border around the edge, and you don't see it much, but when I put it on the page you'll see it stand out a bit. Just going to get that quick dry. See how that just gives it a tiny bit of a shadow from the background, and it just stands out. I think I'm going to commit and stick them on because I can procrastinate all day, but I am loving this. Ooh, I think I'm going to use this colour a whole lot more. I love the embossing glazes. They are so much fun to play with and a bit addictive. I started with one colour and now I have quite a few of the colours. So they're almost looking across the rows. Now we just need a saying or a title or a, what have we got? I don't know whether I grabbed anything to do words with. Has you got any words in here? Oh! Has Art by Marlene got any words in her die cut books? Oh, there's one that says, what does this say? Speech bubble? Together we are strong. Oh, how perfect is that? And it might even be the right colours. So this is just an Art Elements book, one of the new-ish ones from Art by Marlene. This one's called the Mint Collection. So just perfect. We have a speech bubble. And these are die cuts. They're all pre-cut. So you just simply pop them out. And I just love some of the characters in them. They are just awesome. I'm just going to check the other one because, of course, I had to buy the two different varieties. The rose looks lovely. Yes, Kayleen. Did you see that I hope you saw that I put the Tim Holtz Distressing embossing glaze over the top in the Kitsch Flamingo? I really like that. I'm going to have to use that a bit more. I'm just checking this other book for a saying because I didn't grab anything to put a saying on my page, but I think I like the speech bubble that I just pulled out of the other book. Bear with me. Guilty Pleasures. No, that's the wrong colour. Oh, what's that one say? A little birdie told me. No, that's not appropriate. I think I will go with my first instinct because I can't believe I've been doing this page for an hour and a half. I like to procrastinate. So I think I love this. Together we are strong, and I'm going to put this up here, and I think I am done. So all I'm going to do is to glue these elements down. I'm just going to use some 450 glue. So this rose started off as a napkin that we stuck down first. Unfortunately, oh, Kayleen, you haven't seen the glaze used before. The glazes are amazing. So you use them exactly like you would use embossing powders. You either use an ink, or I used water because I couldn't find my ink pen. So basically you need something to hold the embossing powder down, and you treat them exactly like embossing powder, but they are translucent instead of opaque. So they are fun to use. I get all mine from Hillbilly Scrapping. She has all the colours. And he's just brought out a new colour. What's the new colour? Something, is it Selvage Patina? It's almost, it's like an aqua colour, and I can't wait to get that one and play. Okay, glue. That would be nice if you actually worked. My glue's nearly empty, so this 450 glue is fantastic. It's really strong, and the only problem is when you get the last little bit in the jar, it takes a little bit for it to get down the end. So because I put these onto a piece of self-adhesive plastic, I just have to use a stronger glue. I could have used double-sided tape, but I think I'll just use the glue. Take that bit of double-sided tape, expose that bit because otherwise it will fall off. And because my art journals get opened and I take them to retreats and I take them to shows and people flick through them, I do like my elements to be glued on very well. Where was this going? This was going here. Usually I don't like to stick things in my spine of my book, but oh well, that's where we ended up today. So I'm just going to fold this. Oh, you get a sneak peek of another page I haven't finished. This book's got a lot of pages I haven't finished in it. So at least this one will be done. It's so satisfying to finish a journal. They take a while when you're working in art journals to finish because they've got so many pages, but it's so satisfying to then go and flip through them. Come on, glue. I need to go buy another bottle of glue, and so what I tend to do is when my glue gets down, this glue is a bit of a pain when you get to the last bit of the glue, is I will go buy another one, use about half of it, and then you can pop this glue in a like a cup of hot water, it solidifies the sorry, not solidifies, wrong word. It liquefies the glue, so the heat of it makes it more like a liquid, and you can pour it from one jar to the other. And then when it's cooled, it goes back to this lovely gel glue, so it's quite a thick glue, which is really good. And it's really strong. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Had to be a bit further. Slide her across. There we go. I think I am done. I could sit here and procrastinate more, but I'm going to call that done. Because my stomach is groaning and saying it's hungry because it's 1:30 in the afternoon. Thank you very much for everyone that's stuck around and had some fun. So at the start we used my new... Where have I put them? No idea. I've got a mess beside me, I can tell you that. I've got drawers of stuff everywhere that I've pulled out. So we started with... We didn't start with that. We started with my face stencil that's run away. Oh my god, I would lose my head today if it wasn't screwed on. Maybe I was a good girl and put it back in the bag. I was. Look, I was a good girl and put it back in the bag. No, the big one's not there. Show you the little one. So we started with one of my new face stencils. This is a smaller version. The bigger one's around somewhere. I don't know, I've lost it in this pile of mess. So you get the stencil and you get the masks when you purchase it from my store. And we have it in the bigger version and in the smaller version. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and I'll be back on at 7 p.m. tonight as a part of the great International Craft Alive Craft Show with another art journal page tonight. I'm really into art journaling at the moment and it's just easier for me to do. So we'll be using a different product tonight and making another art journal page, and I'm live again on Saturday and Sunday at 12 p.m. doing, I think I've got cards on Saturday maybe and a scrapbook page on Sunday, or one of the two. And then at 7 o'clock Saturday night we're doing a live sale with some super duper specials, so you don't want to miss that one. So that's 7 o'clock Saturday night. And then 7 o'clock Sunday night I'll finish out the Great Australian Craft Show with probably another art journal page. That will be a bit more of a relaxed just art journal play. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around again. Bye for now.